Hi everyone, so welcome back to this makeup date. I haven't filmed in a little while. A big reason is because unfortunately I got sick. My girls got sick, passed it on to me, and that sickness was hand, foot, mouth. It was really bad for me. I apparently got the strain that like just goes after adults, especially like eczema spots. I have really bad, not really bad eczema, but I do have some spots on my body that have eczema, and part of that is on my hands, and so it really went after my hands, and my hands are nasty right now. Trying to recover from it. I'm not sick currently, but it's like part of the process is with the number of like sores and stuff like that. Like, oh god, it's like peeling now. So if you see my hands, I apologize. It's kind of a mess. Also things get greasy because I'm really trying to moisturize my hands and stuff like that. So I know that was all TMI, but just to let you know, like why I might be holding products really weird and very gingerly because my fingers are very sensitive right now. I chose not to wear gloves just because I'm trying to let my hands breathe a little bit. Um, but I'll be holding products kind of weird, and if you like see something weird in my hands, that's what's going on. I promise it's not contagious, it's not the plague. But it's like honestly kind of like modern day leprosy. It's really rough, at least what I got. I Yeah, thankfully my kids are fine. And they got away with very little symptoms, a little spots here and there. But honestly, I was the one who was got a little rough. So yeah, please send well wishes my way if you want to, but I'll get through it. I'm not worried about that. So this makeup date, thankfully I've pretty much laid low the last few weeks, so nothing really came into my collection, but I do have a few outs to talk about, and a few updates, I guess, if I remember to go through them. So if you're following along, this is my update almost weekly at this point where I basically go through any ins that have come into my collection, any outs, and kind of talk about my makeup thoughts along the way. And it's been kind of an interesting season, so I have a few things to talk about. So let's go into outs first. So I finished up a Laneige Water Bank Moisturizer. I think this is actually kind of a newer product. Sorry if it's not focusing. Um, and that is it was fine. I am honestly realizing I don't love the scents on kind of higher end stuff, and so I won't gravitate towards that again. I am rolling out a makeup sponge because it was starting to rip just a little bit. I'm getting picky. It's also like not the greatest quality, but it works for what it is. And so I just I think I gave it maybe about 3 weeks of use, and it's starting to like get harder and harder to clean out. And that for me is kind of like I'm just gonna let it go. It was definitely less than $1, so that's I'm not gonna give it more than it's worth. I did finish up the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I actually forgot about this. Sorry, it's like upside down. Wait, oh, I just unscrewed it, but it's empty right there. Um, I totally just dropped the cap. All right, I'm back. So that was good. It was fine. I haven't gotten my thoughts around whether or not I want to get a full size one. I mainly used it in my blush and bronzer cocktail, which was really fun. It was a really good emollient for that. It did make apparently it does have a tint to it. It makes it quite a bit brighter and lightened my cocktail quite a bit. So I don't know if anyone knew that. I mean, I just assumed it was kind of a translucent product, but it actually like kind of shifted the color a little bit. So I was a little surprised by that. The last weird, not really an empty, but I guess like a packaging shift, if you will. So I got two of these Dior Backstage sample packs, and they were hefty, like hefty packs here. They came with 9, and I have both of mine are, let me show both because I'm quite proud of this. I did not use them on my face, and I'll explain why, but I did open all of them, and I ended up, and as you can see, the shades in here are quite dark. Like, for someone like me, I would really only be able to use like the two lightest ones. They don't look light because I ended up mixing them all together, and I'll explain in a second why. But I mean, it was really nice of Dior to kind of show like the breadth of their collection, but in terms of its usability for an average consumer, um it honestly didn't make much sense. Like when I mixed them all together, it was probably like one of these darker shades, definitely on the darker end of the spectrum. So right now they all live in here. I basically mixed it together as a liquid contour. As you can see, the bottle's quite dark. Do I dare to open this? It is. All right, I will. You guys can see in the cap, I think, kind of the shade it is. It's quite dark, and so I have to. I only use very very little of it every day. I might actually get like a dedicated liquid contour brush, because right now I'm just kind of like trying to figure it out. I can't really use my fingers with my makeup, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Um, so I'm kind of trying to figure out which brush is right for it, and I don't know if I have the right one. So, um, but yeah, I am thought that was kind of cool to that I was able to think of that and was able to use all of them that way. So that is packaging is out thankfully, because man, I was just like, I don't know what to do with this. Um and I would probably never buy that foundation for what it is. And actually the scent, I was just talking about how high-end scents kind of weird me out, but this one actually didn't have much of a scent, so that was cool. All right. So those were pretty much all of the outs. I do have a few thoughts. One, because of what I said about my fingers, and I'm sure you caught a few glimpses here and there as I was holding up packaging. I really can't use my fingers in my makeup application as much as I used to. I used to do a lot of mixing on the back of my hand with my fingers. I would, dab things on my face, but I really have to make use of all of my tools now, which is really weird because I was starting to get really comfortable using my fingers and mixing with and mixing cocktails and using my fingers to put on eyeshadow or whatever. And now I really have to rely on my tools and to figure out what tools do I have and how can I be creative with that too. So I feel like it's the challenge has honestly been a nice creative outlet in a way. I'm just getting back into it. I'm probably like day 3 or 4 of back into makeup. I took a break while I was sick, I promise. Tried to keeping my makeup collection as virus free as possible. Thank you very much. But yeah, but I think even things like, okay, I can't do my blush cocktail and make and bronzer cocktail anymore, so let me actually be using my brushes to dip into cream products and using them that way, or applying cream products straight into my face from the bullet, things like that. So it's been an interesting journey, and I will continue to kind of explore, but I think that liquid bronzer contour is one of my newest things to kind of accommodate for myself. And I think because my skin is peeling on my hands, it's impacted my dexterity a lot as well. And so I think I actually have a new appreciation for products that are easy to open and are easy to use, and it's honestly a really weird sensation. I don't wish it on anybody, but it's a really weird sensation to navigate the world with like limited dexterity. In my job, I actually think about older adults and like work with older adults in kind of a removed way, but in a sense, and I have to think about how some of the work that I do relates to them and things like that. And one of the things that we think about is usability and dexterity, and that as older adults they start to lose feelings in their fingers, and like their finger pads and their fingerprints start to actually get smoother and smoother, so it's hard for them to grip things. Like those are things that we sometimes have talked about in parts of my work. And so I'm kind of feel like I'm in their shoes now, where I'm like, oh, actually I have to be using like my knuckles to open things, or like kind of using like this part of my hand to really grip things, and or be wearing gloves or something, right, to like have that strength and grip and be able to protect my hands and so on and so forth. And it's been a really weird experience, but I say all this more to document for myself what I've been going through, because I don't really journal as much as I used to. But it's been a weird time. And like for instance, I was like Rare Beauty, they say that they're good for usability and dexterity and stuff like that. And they actually is. Like the shape of this cap is really nice, and I'm able to just like grip it like this and open it rather than using my fingertips, because honestly anything on my fingertips right now, it's really sensitive. Um and things like this House Beauty Lab, sorry, it's like so dirty because I have like Vaseline on my hands constantly right now. So I'm gonna try to wipe it down just a little bit. But the fact that I can kind of grip it like this and open it this way, like I can still use it. It has been really, really nice, and can't use my fingers in there, but um, I feel like that has been a really, really nice use. And like anything with my fingernails is like, oh, I hope I don't have to, or like I hope it won't be that difficult, because I can still use my fingernails, thankfully. But it is sensitive in that area too. And so sometimes if I do have to use my fingernails, I'm like, kind of cringy. um and things like even skincare. Like I can't really use my hands as much to like apply things or use my ring finger to apply things. Like we take that for granted. And so I've had to pull in like brushes to use my skincare instead. And that's been a really interesting experience. Or like pulling out my I haven't been using like toner pads or anything like that for, or like cotton pads for my toner. So I'm starting to use that again. And so yeah, I've just had to be creative and just like look around my collection and see like, okay, what can I use right now that will help me out here? Because I am at a deficit and I really could use the help. So um that's kind of been what's going on. So if you see kind of a shift in terms of like what's getting used up and stuff like that, that's might be why. But hopefully you won't see too big of a difference. I'm still able to use most of my products like day to day. So from here, I wanted to give a quick update on my little cocktail between my MAC lip conditioner and my MAC lip gloss. Sorry, let me pull it out here. I actually have tubes here. And yeah, so I mixed these two together. I think I said that maybe last time, and I've actually really liked it. I've really enjoyed it, and I put it in this little like sample container, and have been using it with a lip brush, and that's helped a lot. Again, I can't use my fingers, so lip brush it is. Plus, it's like too liquidy to use as a lip brush. I'm realizing I don't really love using things from a tube. I don't know. I might explore the idea of putting it into a lip gloss tube and using it from there, but I don't know. Lip gloss tubes actually kind of gross me out a little bit from a sanitary standpoint. I mean, you guys have heard the viruses that run around in our family, so it's like I would prefer not. So I haven't quite figured out, but right now, like small batches is okay because I can still sanitize and like or throw out a small batch if I need to, and I'm not too worried about it. Um, but yeah, so I really like that mix. I might actually even hold off on buying any more lip glosses and maybe just like mix these two into a lip gloss tube and then like mix other pigments in there and use that as a lip gloss. That might be fun actually. And in terms of like my lip mask, I'll just keep in like the little small pot on the side. So just a quick update there. I don't think many people are trying out that combo, so sometimes it's just to say it for the sake of saying it. Um, and other than that, I don't have a ton of other thoughts. I have been playing around with this duo that I got, the Hula Secret Oasis. I was actually very surprised that the lighter, this is Hula Light, and it's like way too light. It's honestly like just like a deep face powder for me. So I haven't right now been using it as a contour topper or just to like blend things out on my cheeks, and that's been fine. I haven't really touched the blush much, but it is beautiful and it smells really nice. It's probably one of the best smelling products in my collection. So I'm excited to kind of play with that a little bit more, but I've been using that kind of as my contour topper. And I'm glad I can get some use out of it because I don't know, I probably wouldn't bring it into my collection otherwise. And then everything else, I think I'm just kind of chugging along, trying to keep up with my progress on projects and stuff like that. I feel like because I had to take basically a week off from makeup, I'm a little bit behind, but I'll get there and I'll just try to update you guys as I go. So, anyways, that's my makeup date for now. Kind of weird things happening, but hopefully you guys understand kind of where I'm at and will, you know, just be along for the ride. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.